है और टॉप सोर्सेज के हवाले से ये जानकारी है कि जल्द ही भारतीय जांच एजेंसी जो NIA है वो जल्द ही अमेरिका के लिए रवाना हो सकती है। और जो जानकारी मिली है कि 6 से 7 लोगों की टीम होगी एजेंसी की, जिसमें ADG रैंक के जो अधिकारी होंगे इस टीम को लीड करेंगे। और अभी हाल में ही मुंबई ये टीम गई थी और वहां एक सीनियर एडवोकेट से मुलाकात की थी जो इस पूरे मामले में 26/11 में जो इस पूरे मामले को केस को देख रहे हैं। वहां पर इस केस से जुड़े हुए कुछ और मामलों को लेकर डिस्कस किया गया था। ये टीम जो है जल्द ही अमेरिका जाएगी और जानकारी मिल रही है कि अमेरिका पहुंचने के बाद जो प्रत्यार्पण का जो एक प्रोसेस होता है उसमें 1 से 2 दिन का समय लग सकता है। इसलिए ये टीम 2 दिन तक अमेरिका में ही रहेगी और वहां से तहव्वुर राना को लेकर सीधा भारत आएगी। जानकारी ये भी है कि तहव्वुर राना को या तो दिल्ली हेडक्वार्टर जो केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी NIA का हेडक्वार्टर है यहाँ पर वहां लाया जा सकता है या फिर मुंबई भी से लाया जा सकता है। लेकिन इसके बारे में ये जानकारी कि जब तहव्वुर राना को अमेरिका से लेकर टीम निकलेगी भारत के लिए तो उसके बाद जो वहाँ जो कंडीशन सिचुएशन को देखने के बाद ये तय होगा कि क्या दिल्ली ले जाना है या फिर मुंबई। क्योंकि 26/11 में जिस तरीके से आतंकी हमले में का मास्टरमाइंड तहव्वुर राना और अमेरिका की सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब भारत को प्रत्यार्पण के लिए एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट की तरफ से भारत को प्रत्यार्पण की जानकारी दे दी गई, तो ये कहीं ना कहीं भारतीय एजेंसीज और भारतीय सुरक्षा एजेंसीज के लिए एक बड़ी कामयाबी। और लगातार भारतीय जांच एजेंसी लगातार इस कोशिश में है और तमाम सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जो डॉक्यूमेंट पेपर हैं और जो इससे जुड़े हुए तमाम जो प्रोसेस होता है फाइल उस सब को कंप्लीट करने में लगी हुई है। लेकिन ये इंडिया न्यूज और NewsX के पास ये टॉप एक्सक्लूसिव इंफॉर्मेशन है कि जल्द ही अमेरिका के लिए टीम रवाना होगी और तहव्वुर राना को अमेरिका से लेकर भारत पहुंचेगी। क्योंकि पूरे देश को और खासतौर से जांच एजेंसी को, देश की सुरक्षा एजेंसी को इस बात का इंतजार है कि तहव्वुर राना कब भारत लाया जाएगा। लेकिन जो जानकारी मिल रही कि केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी NIA की टीम पूरी तरीके से तैयार और तमाम डॉक्यूमेंटेशन को उन्होंने तैयार कर लिया। एक लीगल प्रोसेस होता है जो 2 देशों के बीच में प्रत्यार्पण को लेकर जो पूरी एक प्रोसेस होता है उसको लेकर एजेंसी अब पूरी तरीके से तैयार है। जी।
All right. Javed, thank you so much for joining us, sharing all those details. We're in fact being joined by Major General P.K. Sehgal, defense expert on the broadcast. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, of course, source-based information pouring in at this point of time, where an NIA team is preparing for a handover is what our sources are telling us. How do you view the developments, sir?
Are you asking this question from me?
Yes, sir.
He is absolutely standing by. They are ready for since 6th of March. 6th of March, the Supreme Court had rejected his appeal. Now he's filed a special appeal once again to the Chief Justice Roberts. But I'm very, very certain, given the stance of the Trump government, where Trump has called him a very evil person and a very violent person, and he said he's a danger not only to India but to humankind. Under the circumstances, I don't think the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is going to give them any leeway. The Indian team is totally standing by. It will be a huge, huge success story. It's been full 17 years that we've been waiting to receive this gentleman. The moment he comes here, Pakistan will stand totally exposed because he is the one who would clearly indicate to us the role played by the ISI, the role played by the Pakistani army, and also the role played by the Pakistani Navy. Pakistan has been completely on a denial mode. We've given them series of folders, and every time we've given them the folder, etc., they said it doesn't contain anything worthwhile. Lahore High Court as well as the Islamabad Supreme Court have continuously been, giving the waivers to Pakistani government because they've not been putting the type of information that is required to be put up in front of the courts. Well, once Rana comes here, the role of David Headley, what sort of a reconnaissance did he carry out? Why was he able to fool the Indian intelligence for so long? How is it that the RAW did not get to know that he was coming to India again and again and carrying out reconnaissance of various times? It's absolutely essential that he be brought here now. In fact, Trump has gone on record to say that it is absolutely essential that he now faces justice from India. And India is very, very keen because we lost 166 people and including nine terrorists. So total people who died were 175 and there were very many people who were wounded. There was lots of loss of human lives as well as loss of property. Unfortunately, it's been far too long. It's been 17 years. The previous governments of the United States were not very helpful, but the present dispensation is absolutely and totally helpful in the sense that you have Tulsi Gabbard, who's the intelligence head with 18 intelligence agencies under her. She will be totally supportive of India. Mike Watts, who also was heading the India caucus before he became the secretary. And you also have Hegseth, who's also the defense secretary, who's also pro-India. So even you got Kash Patel. All these people who are heading various organizations in America are completely and totally pro-India.
Right,
and they
sir.
would go flat out to ensure.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, I'm going to request you to stay on with us. Advocate Ujjwal Nikam, special public prosecutor, also joins us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, as far as the extradition is concerned, by when are we expecting that process to start, sir?
It is very difficult to say at what point of time Tahawwur Rana will be brought back to India. But certainly there is no now legal impediment as such, and the Trump government has made it very clear that they are ready to send bad elements immediately, indirectly suggesting that administration of US has no problem and there is no legal any stay as such. So I think it is the NIA team is of course ready, and at any point of time he'll be brought back to India.
Right, sir, absolutely. So again, we don't necessarily know when exactly that process is going to start, but if you could give us an understanding on the process itself, how exactly is it going to pan out, sir?
See, charge sheet is already filed. Basically, FIR is already lodged in Delhi Special Court of NIA Court, and he'll be taken into custody. He'll be interrogated by the NIA team, and then whatever the material they are having it, and whatever the evidence they will collect, and they will produce and they will file the charge sheet, final charge sheet against Tahawwur Rana, and then the matter will be proceeded.
Right, sir, absolutely. My final question to you is, sir, is there any possibility or perhaps a loophole via which Tahawwur Rana can potentially delay his extradition?
See, whatever the stand which Tahawwur Rana wants to stall the hearing of this extradition, he has already been exhausted. Now, it is for us, that is the NIA team, to collect the evidence and to marshal the evidence against Tahawwur Rana. And I am very optimistic because when we have succeeded in extradition, obviously we have the prima facie evidence to prove the guilt of Tahawwur Rana, because Tahawwur Rana is also the main link between the Lashkar-e-Toiba and the concerned army officials, as well as of Pakistan, as well as the terror attack of 26th November and other places which David Headley had visited Mumbai.
All right, sir, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you, sir, for joining us on the broadcast, as well as Major General P.K. Sehgal for sharing his perspectives with our viewers. We are going to leave it there for the time being, but we are going to shift our focus to some more breaking news coming in, where a team of United States officials headed by Assistant Trade Representatives Brendan Lynch will come to New Delhi from March 25th to 29th for meetings with Indian interlocutors as part of ongoing bilateral trade discussions and to finalize the shape of the proposed bilateral trade agreement. Both sides are aiming to finalize the first tranche of a mutually beneficial deal by fall of 2025. The discussions are set to take place a week ahead of the reciprocal tariffs imposed by the US becoming effective on April 2nd. India has shared a non-paper or non-binding informal discussion paper with the US to convey New Delhi's point of view and proposals regarding the talks. Once the contours of the deal are decided, negotiations will be officially launched. Aditya on the telecast with me. Aditya, take our viewers to the details of this visit.
Well, Asavri, absolutely. The U.S. Trade Representative for Central and South Asia will be visiting India. He is on a 4-day official visit on India with the U.S. delegation. Just this visit by the U.S. officials and the U.S. Trade Representative very significant because U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he will impose reciprocal tariffs on India from April 2nd. And yesterday what had happened. United States Embassy in New Delhi had issued the statement that this will be a 4-day visit which will last till March 29th. And key deliberations regarding these trades will be discussed between both the sides. We have seen that India in the recent past has decided to diversify its import needs. Recently what we saw. The president of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, had visited India for possible revival of the free trade agreement talks. And then recently when New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon was in New Delhi, he also discussed the possibility of an FTA with India. So considering this critical juncture, when Donald Trump is imposing tariffs on other countries, it is very significant that India diversified its import needs. What we have seen in the recently, but India has also started importing more oil from Russia despite US sanctions over Russia. So now it needs to be seen how these trade talks between the US and Indian side takes place. It is expected to bear some results because sometime back the Commerce Ministry was considering that it will cut import duties on the US exports that come into India, because Donald Trump has been saying since he has become the President of the United States of America for the second time that if you charge us, we will charge you. If you impose tariffs, we will impose reciprocal tariffs.
Absolutely.
So now it needs
Aditya, stay on with us. Dr. Sharad Kohli, senior economist, also with us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, in your assessment, will bilateral trade agreements with the United States benefit India? What's your assessment?
Well, good morning, Safri. Good morning to the viewers of NewsX. I think negotiations are on. India will only try its level best, just like the way it's America first for America, it's India first for India. So we can only go as far as our domestic needs, domestic situation, domestic economy allows. We cannot obviously go out of the way and expose our domestic industry to risk. So, but India will definitely try. I think Brendan Lynch's visit in this week is going to be, try and attempt to see if India is prepared to probably reduce tariffs on some of the items. And some of the trade associations in the U.S. have represented Trump administration to ask him to reduce tariffs as far as India is concerned, especially pharmaceuticals, things like Harley Davidson. So I think if negotiations are on, I think 2nd April would be the big day when the reciprocal tariffs come into impact. I think before that, every possible effort is being made to see that the impact is minimized, and the efforts are being made from both the sides. And India, I think, will try as far as possible, because India, the world knows, is now a food basket. No country can afford to ignore India as far as the trade, bilateral trade is concerned, the FTAs are concerned. I think every country is trying to make a good deal with India because they know for future China may not, after all, be of great help. So India is going to be the savior. So let's hope for the best, and I think something nice is going to come out. We see the stock markets already reacting positively for the last 7 days. They seem to be putting aside the fears of trade tariffs and trade tensions, at least in India. And I think something positive should come out of it. I'm very hopeful, Sandra.
Right, sir, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with our viewers. We're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some breaking news coming in, where Khar police has sent a summon notice to Kunal Kamra's house asking him to appear before the investigating officers at 11 a.m. today. Mumbai police had registered an FIR against Kunal Kamra for his remarks during a stand-up comedy show, which was transferred to Khar police for further investigation. Details they're coming in at this point of time. Following remarks that were made by comedian Kunal Kamra, those remarks were pointed at the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, and now, of course, he is to appear at 11 a.m. today. So a summon notice sent to him, and he is to appear to the Khar police today. Shahid on the telecast with me. Shahid, what's the update that we have as far as the Kunal Kamra case is concerned?
देखिए, कुणाल कामरा मामले में जो FIR दर्ज हुई थी, उस FIR के बाद जो खार पुलिस थाने को ये जांच सौंपी गई है और इसके बाद खार पुलिस थाने ने जो है उन्हें सम्मन भेजकर तलब किया है। आज 11 बजे उन्हें तलब किया था, चूंकि वो यहाँ है नहीं तो जाहिर सी बात है कि वो आ नहीं सके। मुंबई पुलिस ने जो है ये सम्मन व्हाट्सएप के जरिए उनके घर और जितने भी जराए रहे हैं उनके जरिए उन्हें वो सम्मन भेज दिया गया है ताकि वो कल के इसे डिनाई न कर सके। हालांकि अब तक कुणाल कामरा यहाँ आए नहीं, लेकिन वहीं दूसरी तरफ कुणाल कामरा का जो बयान रहा है वो बयान भी जो है उन्होंने सीधा साफ कह दिया है कि वो इस मामले में माफी नहीं मांगेंगे। कोर्ट कहेगी उसके बाद ही वो जो भी करना है करेंगे। बाकी इस तरह से प्रेशर या इस तरह से कोई हमले या इस तरह से उन्हें अगर कोई निशाना बना रहा है तो इस निशाने बनाने पर वो किसी से माफी नहीं मांगेंगे। वही महाराष्ट्र असेंबली में जो है विपक्ष आज इस मामले को लेकर अभी भी कुणाल कामरा के फेवर में नजर आ रहा है। विजय वडेट्टीवार जो कांग्रेस लीडर हैं उन्होंने जो है कहा है कि हमें किसी की भी बोलने की आजादी को हम छीनने का अधिकार नहीं है। अगर उसने कुछ गलती की है तो उसके लिए तरीके हैं कि कानून के दायरे में रहकर उसे सजा दें। हम कोई नहीं होते, हम यानी विपक्ष, इस विपक्ष का कहना है कि सत्ताधारी पक्ष है वो जो तरीकाकार अपनाया है वो सही नहीं है। हम किसी को भी जो है कानून से बाहर होकर सजा देने का अधिकार नहीं रखते। इसलिए अगर कुणाल की है तो उसके लिए आप उसको जो है सजा देने के लिए कोर्ट का या कानून का सहारा लें। ये बात जो है विजय वडेट्टीवार ने कही है और कुछ इसी तरह से सारी बातें जो है विपक्ष जो है यही कह रहा है, जबकि सत्ताधारी पक्ष जो है इस चीज को लेकर अभी भी जो है पूरी तरह से कुणाल कामरा को जो है पूरी तरीके से घेरने की कोशिश कर रहा है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ आपको मैं बताऊं कि रोहित पवार ने भी ये बात कही है कि उस दौरान उन्होंने जब देवेंद्र फडणवीस उनकी जब वो विपक्ष में थे और राज्य में जो है महाविकास आघाड़ी की सरकार थी तो कंगना रनावत का जो बयान आया था उस बयान पर जो है देवेंद्र फडणवीस का जो बयान रहा है वो ऐसा नहीं था जो आज है। तो एक तरह से जो है कुणाल कामरा के इस बयान के बाद जो है सियासत तो तेज हो ही गई है। वहीं जो विपक्ष है वो कुणाल कामरा के सपोर्ट में नजर आ रहा है। मुंबई पुलिस चूंकि FIR दर्ज की है और